What's up, guys? Your boy Hokage Puya here, and we got some Bayern transfer news in the midst of the January transfer window. And the big news the last day or two has been that Christopher Nkunku, Chelsea forward Christopher Nkunku, ex RB Leipzig, wants to join Bayern this winter window, and that Chelsea want Mathys Tel, and that the two clubs can be maybe working out a deal where Christopher Nkunku and Mathys Tel are part of a swap deal between the two clubs for a permanent transfer. It seems that is the direction Chelsea wants to go, but Bayern do not want to go that direction. It seems like we still want to hold on to Tel. I'm here to talk about whether we should sign Nkunku. Should we do the swap deal? Should we sign Nkunku cash, keep Tel, loan him out? We're going to talk all about that right here because this is really big news. This has big implications in the Bayern attack, especially when I think a lot of us Bayern fans would agree that if we want to be really serious going to the second half of the season right now, our attack needs to be better because we are not being clinical enough with our chances. We should be winning games by more goals. We should be winning games more comfortably, and the attack right now is not doing it. Is Nkunku an upgrade? Can Nkunku help us? Should we keep Tel and trust him to make impact in the second half of the season? Let's talk about it right now, but let's go to our good friends at Aimia Sanmia talking about the news. Best Twitter account, best Bayern Twitter account there is. Bayern and Chelsea held initial talks here about a possible swap deal with players being discussed. Bayern asked about Christopher Nkunku's situation at Chelsea. Nothing advanced or close yet, but initial talks took place. So that was yesterday. More news, even though a decision was supposedly made to keep Mathys Tel this month, Bayern never completely closed the door to a move internally, always keeping it open for potentially attractive options, even though Tel actually wants to fight for a spot. There's more information there, whatever. And you guys, all from the credible sources, Pleti Goal, Fabrizio Romano, like this is real. This is real. More news by Kerry Howe, another reliable source. As of today, which was yesterday, Mathys Tel wants to stay and stick to his goal of becoming a regular starter at Bayern, something he and his management made clear to Vincent Kompany and Bayern bosses just 10 days ago. The outcome is open. So Nkunku himself, like Nkunku wants to join. I could scroll up and go to the news, but it's basically confirmed. Christopher Nkunku literally wants to join Bayern. That's the only team he wants to join. And to be honest, dude, Nkunku would be a good signing, but not at the expense of the club. And what do I mean by that is if we can get a good deal for Nkunku, if we could get a good deal for him, bring him in. Bring him in because that would be a hell of a backup striker. That would be a hell of a backup number 10. He could play on the left. We could just slap him out on the left over Bum-ass Sane, who can't score open goals at the moment, and Gnabry is always injured, and Coman, who is on and off on form. We could slap him on the left and see what happens. I'm not opposed to this. Obviously, if this was 3 years ago when Nkunku was at Leipzig, I'm all in. I paid the 60, 70, 80 million, whatever it was, because at that time, 2-3 years ago, Nkunku was the best player, one of the best players in the Bundesliga, top prospect. Before he got that injury, this spell of injuries he's had at Chelsea, before the World Cup in 2022, he was going to be starting for France at that World Cup. Christopher Nkunku, that's how good he was. He was literally going to be starting alongside Kylian Mbappe and Antoine Griezmann at that World Cup in 2022 before his big injury that has led to a whole slew of other injuries. But we're now 2.5 years removed from these injury issues that he's had, and because those injury issues, Nkunku wasn't able to establish himself at Chelsea, and I think that's why he wants to go, because it just seems that Maresca and the Chelsea board and the project there, they seem to like Nicholas Jackson more than him as a striker. So it is what it is, and I think he sees that he needs to make the move now. But I believe Chelsea value Christopher Nkunku at 70 million, 65 million pounds, 70 million euros, whatever that is. That's too high. Bayern, for no reason, for no reason should agree to a deal for Nkunku for that amount of money. That was the price Nkunku was going for before his injuries. Now, 2.5 years later, Nkunku's been on and off of form, not getting to starting lineup for Chelsea, injury prone. For 70 million? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If I'm in the Bayern board and I'm making a decision here on Nkunku, I would pay no more than 35 million. Obviously, Chelsea aren't going to loan Nkunku out. They want to, if Nkunku's going to leave, they want to sell him and get money for him, right? I would not spend more than 35 million euro on Nkunku. You know, 40 around 40 million euro less than Chelsea's evaluation, which I think is fair given the injury struggles and the lack of game time he's been getting at Chelsea. There's no way we should be saying there's no way we should be paying similar price to what Chelsea similar price to what his value was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There's no way that's fair. So I'm looking at 35 million, and maybe 35 million to some people is a little too much, but you have to remember, and Kugel's not 30, 31. He's 27. He's 27, and this season for Chelsea, he hasn't actually really been injured. Nicholas Jackson has just been preferred in the league over him, and Nkunku has been playing all the cup competitions for Chelsea, FA Cup, EFL Cup, Europa Conference League. He's been starting in all those games and has been an excellent backup and scoring in lots and lots of games for Chelsea there in those lower tier competitions. So he's 27 years old, 27 years old, just trying to find his feet again. I think if Nkunku were to come to Bayern, I do see him probably playing on the left, Olise on the right, Musiala in the middle, Nkunku on the left, and him, Coman, Zane competing for a spot, whatever. But I would not sign Nkunku for more than 35 million euros and no more than like a 10 million euro contract a year. That is the absolute max. But don't get me wrong. I know Nkunku struggled the last year or two. This would be an excellent signing for squad depth. Excellent signing. I would love this signing if we don't pay an outrageous amount of money for him. Now, in terms of the talks about a swap deal with Chelsea or with Mathys Tel included, absolutely avoid. Bayern absolutely have to avoid it because Tel is only 19. Yes, he struggled for the last year. Remember when he first broke it to the team when Nagelsmann was at the club? He was excellent. Everyone had such high hopes for him. And, he has embodied the club well. He loves the club. He's embodied the Mia San Mia mentality. He embodying the culture of the club. He's done that since day one when he signed. And I think that has to go for something. Like, I don't think Tel is a garbage player. I just think he's still very raw. And at 19 years old, you can't expect, I know we're in a day and age where a lot of 19-year-olds, 20, 21-year-olds are the best players in the world. Musiala, Lamine Yamal at 17 is probably one of the best players in the world. Bellingham and all these guys. I understand that, but not everyone is the same, bro. Tel is still a great talent, but it doesn't mean he has to be as great as those guys. I think we got Tel. We keep developing him. That's what I think. And I think company should look to use him more in the second half of the season off the bench, give him more minutes. If Coman, Zane, and Gnabry are breaking it, give him starting time. Allow him to start be in the starting 11. Give him those minutes and let's see how he develops. I feel like he's not given enough game time to show how much he's improving yet. So we need to keep Tel. If I'm Bayern, I'm giving Tel another 2, maybe 3 years maximum to show us that he's making the right strides in his game and that he can be a bona fide starter for this Bayern 11 and solidify his future here at the club. But right now, selling him at 19, such a young, exciting player, would be a mistake. It really would be a mistake. So I'm absolutely opposed with a swap deal with Chelsea. No way. No way. There should be no swap deal with Chelsea. And Nkunku comes and Tel goes. I don't see much of an upside because still, I know Nkunku, I'm saying Nkunku, backup striker, can play on the left. Tel can do the same thing now. Is Nkunku a better player than Tel? Absolutely. Christopher Nkunku has years more experience than Mathys Tel, especially in the Bundesliga. He was Bundesliga player of the season, I think, the season before he left. Like, absolute, or I think he was, yeah, absolutely. He has way more experience. It would be a weapon in the Bundesliga. But the issue is it worth that 35, potentially more than 35 million that Chelsea want for Nkunku? I don't think it is. So if we could get Nkunku for 35 million, that would be great, but absolutely avoid a swap deal. Mathys Tel should not leave Bayern. He should have more time to develop, and he should get more game time to prove to us whether he is at the Bayern level or not. He should have more game time. Personally, for me, I don't think Tel will ever become a bona fide starter at Bayern. I don't think he'll ever establish himself like that. I think, especially when the club is planning with Musiala in the future, gonna try to sign Verts. We just got Olise, and thinking of the profile striker we need, I don't know if Mathys Tel will fit that striker role after post Harry Kane. If I'm Bayern, I'm giving Harry Kane maybe another season or two, and then we go for the Victor Gyökeres of the world. And for me, the number one striker Bayern should be going after Harry Kane's time at Bayern is done is Alexander Isak. That is the number one guy I want as the next Bayern striker. And I honestly don't see Mathys Tel becoming a starter at this team. But I don't know. I don't know. Like if I don't see him ever making it, as a starter for Bayern, given all the players we want to sign, apparently we want to sign Cherky and all these other players. Why keep him then? So I could see the devil's advocate. I could see the reasons for putting Tel in a swap deal for Nkunku because we're getting rid of Tel, a guy who we probably don't want to invest more time in because we're just going to go out and sign better players to start for Bayern in the future. And Tel obviously has ambitions to be a starter. That could be an issue in the future. So I could see the rationale for Tel being included in a swap deal with Christopher Nkunku, who wants to join Bayern, and I think would be willing to accept that squad role, given where he's at in his career right now, to come at such an elite club like Bayern and to potentially win trophies, get on track with his career again, win trophies, and play with the likes of Musiala, Olise, Harry Kane, Joshua Kimmich, Alphonso Davies, the best players in the world in their positions. I could absolutely see why. So for now, I'm anti get rid of Tel. I don't want Tel to be sold to Chelsea. I don't want Tel to be included in a swap deal with Chelsea. I want Tel to stay. And if we're gonna get Nkunku, I think buy him, but 35 million max and 10 million, 11 million a year contract. That's the absolute highest I'd go. And that's the max. If we could get him for less, that'd be great. I think Chelsea's evaluation of his price tag is way too high, given the injuries and the fact that he doesn't even start for them in the Premier League at the moment, the last 2 years even. So I think their evaluation is pretty batshit crazy and delusional of 70 million euro. Come on, and be realistic. But yeah, Bayern, we're gonna see how this develops. The news broke yesterday. There was more news coming out today about price tags and everything that I'm talking about now. I think by the end of this week, we'll probably get a conclusion to this saga. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. You never know. Transfer plans, especially during the winter window, go fast, bro. Blink of the eye, bro. I'm already every day. I go on Fabrizio Romano's Twitter, dude, and I just see random transfers happening. Like Daniel Malin signing for Aston Villa was just so random for me. Really, Daniel Malin moving to Aston Villa, that's just so random, right? Like, who was it? Like, no one even had that transfer on their radar. But I guess Unai Emery wanted it. That's just an example, bro. But you guys, let's see how this plays out. I'd like Tel to stay and be an exciting young player to come off the bench in the next coming years. I'd love Bayern to sign Nkunku. He was a guy I wanted us to sign 2 years ago, but we didn't. I think that was the time when we opted for Mane and those guys. Yeah, let's see how this plays out. Bayern, be financially responsible here. Don't go out and spend ridiculous money on an injury-prone player who hasn't established himself at Chelsea the last 2 seasons. And don't give up on Tel and sell him just a week and a half after he has verbally told the coach, him and his management have verbally went to Vincent Company and told him, we want to fight for a spot. We are dedicated to the club. I think that'd be a huge blow and disrespect to Mathys Tel and the work and effort done to establish himself in a body club and me. So you guys, this is Bro Hokage Puya. Let's see how this plays out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Mia san Mia. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.